Children, let us continue the story, The Blue Bead. It's in page number 95. In the first part of the story, we learnt about the description of the crocodile and so many information the writer has given in those paragraphs. Get all the information. Now, page number 95. Here it's about the girl we are going to see about. In the shrill, noisy village above the fort, out of a mud house, the same color as the ground, came a little girl. A thin, starveling child, dressed in an earth colored rag. She had torn the rag in two to make skirt and sari. The description about the poor girl. The color of the girl is also the same as the ground. So she is brown. And she looked very thin. And she wore two pieces of rag and make skirt and sari. So she used two pieces of rag of her clothing. So her clothing was to torn the rag into two to make skirt and sari. Sibia was eating, so the name of the girl is Sibia, was eating the last of her meal. Chapati wrapped round a smear of green chili and rancid butter, and she divided this also to make it seem more and bit it, showing straight white teeth. She was eating the chapati and burnt smear of green chili, and very simple food she was eating. It says that she was very poor girl. With her ebony hair, black, ebony means black hair, and great eyes, big eyes she had, and a skin of oil brown. Already I said that, brown in color she was. She was a happy, immature child, and she was a girl full of happiness, and immature child, not a mature child, and an immature child woman, about 12 years old. The age of that girl was 12 years. And how she looked barefoot, of course, and often goosey cold on a winter morning, and born to toil. So the girl did not have any slippers to wear, even in the cold, and also she was born to work. Born to toil means born to work. She never experienced any life which is full of comfort. So she had to work from the childhood itself. So she was born to toil. Toil means work hard. In all her life, she had never wanted. So here the poverty of the girl is very beautifully described by the writer, because the writer had seen such a poor people in her young age, and she had never worn anything but a rag. So old cloth only was her owning, nothing else. Even a small bangle or a stud or any beads to wear, or even chapel she didn't have. Only two pieces of cloth she had to cover herself. She had never worn even one anna, not a pice. That means that time anna and pice means not even one paisa she had on her own. Not a pie, even to buy, say, a handful of blown glass beads from that stall in the bazaar, where they were piled like stars, or one of the thin glass bangles that the man kept on stick. And this is the background of the village, the people, how they sell the things, and bangles will be carried by the bangle sellers on a stick, and all this, those who have gone through that village background must have can understand better. So fully poor background. She didn't have nothing she had for her own. And she knew that what finery was, though she had been with her parents and brothers all through the jungle to the little town at the railhead where there was this bazaar. The bazaar was not in her own village. She had to walk till the railhead. There, the small village, the bazaar was there. And there she can buy all these things, but she never had any money to buy. So, such a poverty she lived. And she had walked through all the smiling people and the dogs and monkeys full of fleas, the idling, gossiping. This is the background or the description about the bazaar where the village people gather. So, gossiping, bargaining, humanity, spitting betel juice, the people who eat the pan and spit it nearby, and all the dirt. So, very, very poor condition also. The environment is so poor, and the people who lived also were so poor, and Sibia was very, very poor. Here, the bell of a sacred bull clonking as he lumped along through the dust and hubbub. So hubbub means the people were going here and there making noise, and in that crowd that bull also moves and make dust over there. She had passed amazed before the sweet meat. So here how the poor girl longed to have something, what all the things she longed to have. Only she could see the thing, and only in sight she can not enjoyed it. So first thing what she had, amazed to see the sweet meat stall. So sweet stall she went in that bazaar to gaze at the brilliant honey confections abuzz with dust and flies. So no covering of the food which they were selling. They smelled wonderful above the smells of drains. So all around dirt, I said, the surroundings also full of dirt. So drains, drainage were there, and the smell of the drain is there. Above the drainage smell, the sweet smell was coming up. And humanity and cheap cigarettes also. Cheap cigarette means like BD and all the very low quality cigarettes that people were smoking. The smell of that, the drain smell, above that, the honey, the sweet smell was there. So the sweet ate what she had eaten before, only the wild honey which they have taken from the honeycomb she had tasted, or crunched the syrup out of a stalk of sugarcane juice, or she can eat the, she had eaten the sugarcane, raw sugarcane. Never she had tasted the sweet which is made by the sweet shop people. But these sweets were green and magenta color. Then there was the cloth stall. First she had seen the sweet stall, and in the bazaar she is going around, and in the next stall what she had, amazed to see, stacked with great rolls of new cotton cloth. So new cloth. Already I have said she was so poor. She was having only the rag and torn cloth only. So stamped at the edge with the market sign of a tiger's head. So the roll of the cloth, they have put the tiger's head in the edge of that roll. And smelling so wonderful of its dressing straight from the mills, because of the fresh cloth, the mill smell, the printing smell, the oil smell, which the dye they use, that smell of the mill she could feel. That Sibia could have stood by it all day. So she enjoyed, and she was liking that the smell of the new cloth. She had never had a new cloth. So the smell of the new cloth she was enjoying. But there were other wonders to see. Satin sewn with real silver thread, satin cloth with the silver thread in trays from Birmingham, and a sari which had got chips of looking glass embroidered into the border. So designed saris were there. She joined the crowd round a Kashmiri traveling merchant. So she went around and she was looking the people who were going here and there, and Kashmiri traveling merchant on his way to the bungalows. He was showing dawn colored silks that dawn means light brownish color, silks that poured like cream, and he had got a little locket just with turquoises and opals in it. So the man who was selling that Kashmiri silks, she was admiring. Best of all, a box which when you pressed it, a bell tinkled and a yellow wooden chicken jumped out. This is again a small um, play thing what she had seen. There was no end to the wonders of the world. So in the bazaar, it's like wonders of the world she had. But Sibia, in all her life, from birth to death, was marked for work. Already I said, born to toil. Since she could toddle, she had husk horn. Toddle means very, very small. When she was very small, she used to have all kind of work. Husk corn and gathered sticks and put dung to dry. All this work she worked, and cooked and weeded and carried and fetched water and cut grass for fodder. So this paragraph says that what kind of work Sibia did in her very young age. She was going with her mother. Now, these all the things she had experienced, and the day with the story is telling about. The story goes from here. So the story is taking place in this place. So first, the writer has given us all kind of background in which she grew up. She was going with her mother and some other women now to get paper grass. Where she is going? She is going to collect paper grass from the cliffs above the river. So they have to climb up the rocky places, cliffs, to collect the grass. When you had enough of it, you could take it down by bullock cart to the railhead and sell it to the agent who would arrange for its dispatch to the paper mills. So what is the everyday work they do? They go and collect some paper grass and keep it, and once they get enough, they will sell it to the agent, and the agent will sell it to the paper mills. The women often toil all day at this work. This is the routine of the women of that village. And the agent sat on silk cushions smoking a hookah. So this is the condition of the village people. They work hard and they sell it to the agent who had a luxurious life. Such thoughts did not trouble Sibia. Never she thought about her hard work or the suffering she is going through. However, as she skipped, she was so happy. In the beginning itself, the story writer said, though in poverty she lived, but she never thought of that poverty. However, as she skipped along with her sickle and homemade hay fork, this is the tools they used to cut the grass, beside her mother. So she always walked beside her mother. You could skip on the way out, but not on the way back when you ached with tiredness and there was a great load to carry. When they go, she can skip here and there and roam around, because when they come back they have to carry the load on their head. They cannot skip and play and go. So she used to skip here and there and play and move around. Some of the women were wearing necklace. So the people who were walking with her to collect the grass were wearing the necklace made out of lal beads. So lal beads matlab seeds. It is found in jungle. They make a shiny scarlet seed. It's a kind of jungly seed that they collect it and make a hole in it and make a beads. The people who lived in the jungle used to wear it. And everywhere in the jungle, you can find it everywhere. It was best to have new necklaces each year. They can keep changing the necklaces instead of last year's faded ones. And Sibia was making one too. Sibia bhi ek bana rahe the. I say, how nice it was going to be to hear that rattling Swiss round her neck as she pouched and along with the lots of necklaces, but each seed hard as stone. So the seed will be very hard. Had to be drilled with a red hot needle. So they have to heat up the needle and make it red hot, and then only they can pierce it in the seed and make a hole in it, and they make a beads. And the family needle was snapped. So the only one needle what they had snapped, broken. So she must wait till they could buy another. So she didn't have any other needle to use, only one needle. It was broken, and they have to afford that amount to buy the needle that is not in their hands. So such a poverty, not even a small needle, extra needle they had. Once it broken means they have to wait till they get it. So that was the poor condition of that girl. So she was longing to wear beads made out of those jungly seeds, but that also she could not because of the poverty. So this says how much poverty she went through. Oh, for strings and strings of glass and beads, anklets, earrings, nose rings, bangles, and all the gorgeous dazzles of the bazaar, all her little golden body decorated. She wanted to have all kind of decorated because she is a very small young girl, and natural it is for girls to decorate themselves. Chattering as they went, the women followed the dusty track toward the river. So the women were walking along the dusty track path. On their way, they passed a Guja encampment of grass huts where these nomadic. So on the way, what they have seen, what is the um, what kind of people lived in that area, that also the writer has described. So one kind of people, they are nomadic and graziers. They used to graze their herds and live in one particular place. After they feed the animals the grass which are grown there, they move to the other place. So nomadic, they keep wandering. So such people lived in that until their animals had perhaps finished all the easy grassing within reach, or they were not able to. So when do they move from one place to one place? Once the grass is over in that place, or they are not able to sell enough of their white butter and white milk in the district. So if there are people not willing to buy their butter, then also they move from that place. Or there was no one to buy the young male buffaloes for tiger bait. So people who catch the tiger buy the male buffaloes from them. So these things are not available there means they move from that place. So such people, such nomads were living in that area. Or perhaps a cattle killing tiger was making a nuisance of himself. Then they would move on. So there are 4 or 5 reasons for the nomads to move from one place to other places given in these 2 paragraphs. You mark it and learn it. So people who lived in that area. Sibia glanced. So what all she is watching on her way, glanced at the Gujar women as she went past. When they were passing there, she was glancing them. She was looking at them. They wore trousers, tight and wrinkled. So the description of the Gujar people there. So what type of dress they wore, what type of decoration they made themselves. So tight, wrinkled at the ankles, and in their ears large silver rings and made out of melted rupees. So big rings they wear, and one of them was clinking a stick against the big brass garas in which they fetch water. So when they when they move with this all kind of metallic ornaments, the part which they carry to take water will make a sound, and to see which ones were empty. Then the men and boys were out of camp. So women, what do? What type of dress they wear, it's given, and what type of life the men had. Boys were out of camp. They will be out of camp just now with a herd of gone to the bazaar to sell produce. So after bringing the herd to the cattle to their house, and they sell the produce, what they have to in the bazaar. But 1 or 2 buffaloes were standing about creatures of great wet noses and moving jaws and gaunt black bones. The big, big buffaloes they had. So Gujas were junglis, as Sibia was too, though both of them are junglis, born and bred in the forest area. For countless centuries, their forebears had lived like this. So the jungly life, the tribal life, getting their living from animals, from grass and trees. So Sibia, the people who cut the grass and afford their life. And the same manner, the nomads they use the grass to feed their animals and get their life. As they scratch their food together and store their substance in large herds and silver jewelry, they were man in the wandering pastoral age, not stone age hunters and not yet cultivators. So, like those pastoral age people, these people also lived. But now there was the river twinkling. So she is crossing the river. So there we will stop, and what happens